What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about SPY and Tesla, the QQQ, and just a couple of other stocks out there. I'm going to break down what's going on with the debt ceiling, the news that just came out, and the data that came out too involving the initial jobless claims, why it's very possible for the market to get a short squeeze for tomorrow to continue to rally, but something has to happen in order for it to happen. I'm going to break down what that probably is going to be. Before I break anything down about what's going on with the markets, though, before I talk about what just happened with the debt ceiling, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $3,000. And the best part is any could be a free Tesla share. The offer ends very, very soon in just about 6 days. So check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. All right, guys, I want to inform you guys about one more thing. I'm going to be away on Friday and Saturday because I have to be attending a bunch of graduations. I know it's that time of year again, and I'm going to be traveling throughout the entire time. However, I should be able to give you guys a morning update for Friday, and I have a pre-recorded video for Saturday. Now, I know Saturday does not matter as much because I'm going to release a video anyways, but it doesn't matter because the market's going to be closed anyways, so it's not as impactful. I will for sure be back by Sunday/Monday to talk about the stock market. The market's going to be closed on Monday, by the way, from Memorial Day during the weekend, so make sure you're prepared for that. And last but not least, for tomorrow, I will not be able to give you guys an afternoon update. That doesn't really matter too much because the market's going to close on Friday anyways. And I usually don't provide videos like during the day, except I will give you guys a pre-market update video. And I should be able to do it for tomorrow too. Anyways, all right, guys, so things won't change too much. I just want to inform you guys that I will be away, but I will pre-record some videos anyways for Saturday. And also, maybe for Sunday, we'll just wait and see on that. But it doesn't matter. Once again, I'm just going to talk about the charts from this point on. Now, we have some bullish signals that we're developing on what was that, on Wednesday, right, from yesterday. I told you guys the market is likely going to get a bounce. What happened today? The market got a bounce. SPY is green, Tesla's green, QQQ green, almost reaching my target of 340. Became super close. If you look at like Neo is kind of red. That did worse than what I expected. I thought Neo would try to bounce with the markets. That's because XBonk had bad earnings. But besides that, it's just one of just a couple. Coinbase was a little weak, but we saw the NASDAQ, the SPX green. We saw Aapl green, as I predicted, Nvidia green, Google green. The list goes on, especially Meta. So I was right about the large majority of these, us getting a nice bounce. And now the real question is, will the market continue to squeeze or is the market going to start tanking? This will depend heavily on what comes out for tomorrow. Let me just mention that for tomorrow, we have about, let me just double check this. We have about, this is like 460,000 calls expiring, and we have about just over 900,000 puts expiring for tomorrow. So right here, a little hard to see. So right here, you could see the numbers. 413 is max pain. The put to call ratio is 1.97. What is likely going to happen for the markets though? Now, the market makers are incentivized to get us to hold this level. They don't have to pump us extremely hard for them to get a win, but there is a chance it could still happen if Biden and McCarthy give us some good news. Now, with the high put to call ratio, the market makers are incentivized. Well, they could survive if SPY closes at 414 tomorrow, but they're more incentivized to pump the markets because of all the puts out there. They might try to squeeze the shorts again, get them to start covering. And we might see a massive short squeeze if Biden and McCarthy announce a deal. And I think the odds favor that. You may think I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm going to explain why I think that. Now, I'm going to break down how this could cause a short squeeze for the markets, why it's very probable, and also let's talk about the data from today. So NVIDIA had its earnings that helped the market start the pump, especially the QQQ. Initial jobless claims came out as expected, a little bit above the previous report, but lower than the consensus, which is still okay. GDP numbers were fine, and nothing too crazy came out. For tomorrow, we have consumer spending survey data coming out from the Michigan University. And then we also have the PCE report coming out. That's going to be very important. Make sure you watch that in the morning. I will be talking about the moment it comes out. So that's going to be very important. Anyways, uh, I also want to add that important news is coming out involving Biden and McCarthy. So the data will be important, but Biden and McCarthy could trump it if they give us a deal. Now, I don't have access. Let me think about it. I have access. I don't have access to this. I'm sorry about that, but it doesn't matter because Biden and McCarthy are near a deal. What I'm going to do instead of showing you the article, because I wasn't planning on doing that, instead I'm going to show you guys the actual transcript of McCarthy and the White House, meaning that I can't show you guys on my computer, but I could read it to you guys. What did McCarthy actually say? We're not going to use any media bias when doing this. We're going to read his actual words. All right, so McCarthy said, I'm reading from my phone, it's very difficult for Democrats to agree to spend less. That was the only negative thing he said. Besides that, almost everything has been very positive for the deal. Then he said, we will get a debt ceiling deal done. He said we will get this done at the end of the day. So when he says at the end of the day, he just means like ultimately, not like literally. And then he said that the debt ceiling deal will not solve all the problems, but it is the first major step. Then he said we made a lot of progress on the debt limit talks. He said Biden knows where we are. He understands the differences and he will continue to be at the table. He said any day is possible for a debt ceiling deal, but some issues still remain. He said, I take June 1st as the debt ceiling deadline. And let's see what else is there. That's about it. The White House responded by saying that Biden's team has made a lot of progress on the debt ceiling talks, and the discussions are going to continue. Uh, they also said that the debt ceiling is not a matter of debate, but the budget remains up for debate, and lots of progress is being made. Biden said, and I quote, we agree there will be no default. Biden is claiming there will not be a default. Be confident. Uh, McCarthy then said, let me see what else is there. No, Biden said, let me see. It is time for Congress to act now on the debt ceiling. There will not be a default. Then he said negotiations about the budget outlines are starting. What else is there? That's about it. I think McCarthy said one more thing. I actually never mind. But anyways, so for the most part, guys, McCarthy and Biden are saying very positive things. I was looking through the whole transcript. There was just one really negative thing McCarthy said, which is like not too great. But besides that, almost everything has been positive, and it looks like they're getting very close to some sort of deal. Now, does that mean we're going to get the deal? Not a guarantee. But my gut is telling me, okay, I know this is kind of funny for me to say this, but my gut's telling me we're likely going to get a deal very, very soon. And I think maybe tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be a good chance for them to announce it because Memorial Day weekend is going to be coming, and the market does not want, bad news over the weekend. They do not want to hold the deal over the weekend because McCarthy said, you know, they need to close the deal this week so that next week Congress has time to look over it. And then on top of that, McCarthy said that June 1st is the hard deadline. He is committed to June 1st, not the CBOE date or any other dates people are throwing like July or I think June 15th is another one. No, none of that. He's committed on June 1st, just like what Janet Yellen was saying. That is good news in my eyes. And progress, I mean, McCarthy is saying a lot of progress is being made, right? Biden is saying the same thing. So this is positive news. And I'm thinking it's very likely they're going to announce a deal either on Friday or on Tuesday. Because remember, the market's going to be closed on Monday. So I think the odds heavily favor that. And I'm leaning more bullish. Looking at the setup, SPY is looking more bullish. We have a potential inverse head and shoulders forming. Might try to pump up again. And then I also want to add that there's so many puts expiring. What if the market makers try to squeeze shorts again and cause a massive short squeeze? It's very possible. Either Friday or Tuesday, but I'm leaning more towards Friday because I'm getting lots of bullish signals. Now on SPY, obviously this is favoring the bulls, this overall setup, but we have to break and hold above 415 and above resistance for us to really get the push. For now, it's just below 415, but there is potential. Momentum is weakening just a little bit, but it's still, like I said before, it has quite a bit of potential. And I believe if it breaks 415 and holds it, this thing Well, break and hold 415, get a strong break above that, of course, not just like break above it and just barely hold it. I mean, like we have to break above it hard, basically. If we get a hard break above it, this thing is gonna fly to 420. We could see another test of 420. And my gut's telling me, okay, it might be because of the debt ceiling deal. They may announce the agreement tomorrow. It seems very likely. Typically on Fridays, the White House and these officials announce big deals or like big events. Now, if they don't announce it, the market's going to just trade sideways and maybe cool off. If they announce it, we're going to get a big pump. What do I think is more likely? I'm predicting, okay, that we're going to get the pump. I think we're going to get the deal tomorrow. If I'm wrong, so be it. But my gut is telling me likely tomorrow, Biden's going to announce it with McCarthy. This is just the agreement. This has not been completely done and it's all over. But I'm starting to think this, and I think this might cause a short squeeze for Tesla. Okay, I'm going to be open-minded. If we don't get the deal, Tesla is going to cool off, maybe retest 180 and just trade sideways. If we get the deal, Tesla's going to fly to the 190s. It's going to retest 190, maybe pump higher. Where am I leaning towards? I'm leaning more towards Tesla hitting 190. Okay, I'm leaning in that direction. Am I promising it? No, but I think it's very likely looking at the setup. Tesla looks bullish. And I think looking at the debt ceiling situation, I mean, it works against Biden and McCarthy to just keep on dragging this out. And I think they might try very hard to get something done tomorrow, right before Memorial Day weekend. It just makes a lot of sense, right? A very nice weekend is what they're going to try to give us. I think the odds favor that. For the QQQ, excuse me, sorry guys. This is losing momentum. We're about to get a bearish cross on the PPO, but it's not going to be that bad. We could get a retest of like the high 330s, 336 to 338. But overall, the trend is still pretty strong, especially thanks to NVIDIA. It might cool off in the morning, and if there's no deal, okay, the QQQ is going to cool off to 336 possibly. If there's a deal, we could fly well above 340 into like the low 340s, getting close to like 345. That's also possible. Now, I'm open to both possibilities, of course. I can't promise you the deal will come, but I am predicting it's going to come. That's just my guess. That's my prediction. That's my logical assessment. I think tomorrow will be the day, and I think we're going to get a lot of these bullish signals to play out, and we're going to see the market squeeze because of it. The HYG is a little bit in the red. We did see some selling from the quote unquote smart money, but what's interesting is it's still very flat and just wanted to fill the supply, this imbalance right over here where we had supply right here to reject it. Now we have this demand zone. It could bounce, which could be good for the markets. Neo is down because of Xbong tanking. Neo could bounce with the market if we get the deal. If not, it's going to continue this way. What did I tell you guys yesterday? The Nasdaq is going to fly up. I told you guys it could either fill this gap or get like a reversal. Instead of filling the gap and just continuing to push up in a straight line, it actually gapped up really hard and then it pushed even more. That's very close to what I predicted though. And now the Nasdaq is getting very close to some major resistance. Could the Nasdaq break this? It's very possible. But so far the MACD is wide open. There is still potential for it to push up higher. Now, if we don't get the push up, if there's bad news tomorrow and we don't get the debt ceiling deal, the market could come tanking down. We could see the Nasdaq fill the gap to the downside. If we get the deal, the Nasdaq is going to fly and retest this high and maybe break to a new high compared to this one. Where am I leaning? I'm open-minded. Anything is possible, but I'm leaning more in the direction that McCarthy and Biden will try their best to get the deal done. As crazy as that may sound to many of you, looking at the transcripts, it seems very likely they're close and they're going to try their best to get it tomorrow. If they announce it tomorrow, well, during the market hours, the market could rip to the moon. And I think it's very possible. This would also benefit the market makers because of the insane amount of puts expiring. For SPX, we have a potential inverse head and shoulders forming. We need confirmation of a breakout. We don't really have it yet. So either way is possible. If there's no deal, we could come down to retest where the 200 EMA is for a Friday sell-off. If we get the deal, SPX is going to go flying to the upside, getting closer to 4,200. Where am I leaning? Honestly, guys, I'm leaning more towards us getting the deal. That's just my prediction. I'm feeling good about this. And if I'm wrong, so be it, but that's what I'm thinking. The VIX looks like it could drop more to fill this gap. It hasn't fully done it. There's another gap down below. There's also a bearish cross in the 1 hour time frame. If it continues to drop, it's going to likely be because of the market pumping. Same with the QQQ, basically the same thing. The dollar is up with the market, but if the dollar starts to drop, there's a possible, I think I saw like head and shoulders developing, like so like right here, there's possibly one. If that's the case, if there's a head and shoulders developing on the dollar and it comes down, this could mean that the market may pump tomorrow as the dollar drops. That's a possibility. Now, if the market pumps hard, we could see Coinbase get a bounce. It's so far looking relatively weak, but it is holding this 55 level. It needs to hold because there's that gap below. It has to hold above like 52. 56 has some pretty decent support, 55 to 56. It may try to trade sideways here. If there's no deal, we're going to see this thing get rug pulled. If we get the deal, it's going to try to reverse to where this imbalance is around 58 to 60. It's most likely going to do that in my eyes. I'm leaning more in that direction. Now, as far as BABA goes, this is about to get a bullish cross. It was getting close to bouncing, but it came short because of how we had some negative news from the Chinese tickers. Unfortunately, it is what it is, guys. I mean, I can't really stop that, and that did slow it down. But it is potentially getting ready for a small bounce. I'm still leaning in that direction. Uh, as far as the market goes, I still think the market has potential to bounce very soon. I'm really hoping for it. And I am thinking that we may get some positive news tomorrow thanks to the debt ceiling. I'm really hoping for it. If we get it, that's going to be great. If we don't, it is what it is. But I'm leaning more in that direction. Like I said before, for Apple, if it gets, it's about to get a bearish cross in the 30 minutes, so it may slow down or gap down into open, but it could try to pump depending on the debt ceiling. I think I have a good feeling about it. Okay, we could be set for a squeeze, and we could see Apple try to make its way up because of this news. If Google gets the good news too, Google's going to fly all the way up to 27 again. Uh, First has to break 126. Did I say 27? I think I meant 126. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what I just said. 126 needs to break that. If it breaks that, then 130 is going to come. If it fails to do so, we have this imbalance all the way down here around 121. It's going to come down and fail if we don't get the deal. I'm leaning more towards us getting the deal though. For Amazon, we're about to get a 30-minute crossover right here, so it may make its way right back up. It has potential to try to retest the 50, make its way up to 115.69, maybe even 116 if we get the deal. If we get the deal, it's going to hit at least 116 or higher. If not, it's going to just trade sideways from here. I'm leaning more towards that direction. For Meta, I think that Meta is downtrending right now, but Meta held up quite nicely, and we got a nice push like I predicted, a break above 250, and it's likely going to continue to hold these levels. If there's no deal, it's going to make its way all the way back down to 250, if not even lower to like 246. If we get the deal, it's going to continue to fly. It's going to retest the high of the day and break it potentially if we get the deal. Where am I leaning? Well, there is a bearish divergence here, so it might gap down a little bit, but there is some potential for a bounce if we get the deal. And I'm leaning in that direction because so far McCarthy and Biden seem very fixated on closing it. And it just would look really bad for the weekend and for the next few weeks if they don't get a deal done by June 1st, or even like they don't announce the deal as soon as Friday, because then we have the weekend. If there's no deal announced during that time, it's not going to look good. And on top of that, I think that as far as the deal goes, what I'm thinking is it's just going to be horrible because McCarthy said he's looking at the June 1st date. And if you're looking at the June 1st date as the deadline, you have to pass the deal like super quickly, within a day or so. It has to be done super, super soon because Congress needs time. They need a week, right, to look through it. So that's the reason why I'm starting to think, looking at all these bullish signals, the odds are favoring maybe a deal tomorrow, causing a squeeze, which benefits the market makers. It just so happens to do so. I do believe Tesla at the very least will reach 190. I'm pretty convicted on that. I'm even holding some calls, but I'm willing to take the loss in case something bad happens. But I'm still leaning more in the bullish direction of a 190 retest for Tesla for tomorrow. Anyways, guys, thank you all for listening. Let's hope we get that deal. I'm leaning more in that direction. And I like the fact that there appears to be some progress being made. It's what the American people need. Let's hope for the best. And if we get the deal, there could be a market-wide squeeze tomorrow. I'm hoping for it. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Don't forget about my merch shop. If you want to buy something from a tank top to a hoodie or something like that, it's really your choice. Also, don't forget about the Webull link. The offer ends very, very soon. Deposit any amount of money and you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. Thank you for listening. Be open-minded to anything, but just know I am be ready for a potential deal. I am leaning in that direction. And be on the lookout for it. Okay? This could lead to some very, very bullish things. Thank you for listening. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.